It appears, based on what we know now, that Dr. Strauss was the most prolific serial sexual abuser in American history.
The numbers are staggering. Nearly 50 instances of rape, almost 1,500 cases of fondling. Those new numbers detail how widespread sexual abuse was at the hands of an Ohio State University doctor. Many of the accusers from former athletes.
Tonight, one of them shares the story he has kept hidden now for decades. Here's 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.
You're watching Fox 17 Morning News with Mike Avery.
For 14 years, he's been a trusted name in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
For 3 deaths so far this year.
But for years, Mike Avery hid a secret.
I just buried it because who was I going to tell?
Avery was a 4-year letterman for Ohio State's lacrosse team. That's where Avery says he was molested repeatedly by the team doctor, Richard Strauss.
When I left, I was pretty confused about what had just happened and why this happened. And I remember saying to one of my teammates when I came out, I said, I feel like I've been assaulted.
He says it was the last time he said anything about it for more than 30 years.
I was a poor kid, so I'm in school, and being able to play lacrosse allowed me to do that. So he could easily say he's not healthy, he can't play. So not only would it affect me not playing the game of lacrosse that I love, he would also hurt my future.
Avery is now one of more than 300 former students filing claims against Ohio State, alleging the school knew of complaints against Strauss but failed to protect students.
He was an aggressive serial sexual predator.
Dennis Mulvihill's law firm represents about 145 students who say they're victims of the doctor who committed suicide in 2005.
The failure by Ohio State to protect these athletes is the greatest failure in NCAA history. They had the greatest, most aggressive serial sexual predator on their campus for 20 years and did nothing to stop him.
An independent review released earlier this year found university personnel had knowledge of what it called Strauss's sexually abusive treatment of male student patients as early as 1979. But Strauss was allowed to continue practicing on campus for another 17 years. The investigators found that Strauss sexually abused at least 177 different students. In a statement, university president Dr. Michael Drake said, in part, on behalf of the university, we offer our profound regret and sincere apologies to each person who endured Strauss's abuse. Our institution's fundamental failure at the time to prevent this abuse was unacceptable, as were the inadequate efforts to thoroughly investigate complaints raised by students and staff members. A realization that's left former athletes like Avery angry. Now a father of 2, he hopes his story serves as a lesson.
If somebody wrongs you, you need to speak up and do something about it. I didn't. I kept it to myself for 30 years.
U.S. Congressman Jim Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State during the time period in question. Publicly, Jordan has denied having any knowledge Strauss was abusing student athletes. But tonight, the attorney representing at least some of those athletes says he does plan to depose Jordan under oath to find out what, if anything, Jordan knew about what was going on at the time. In Cleveland, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.